I was late.
Yeah, you're always late.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Catherine, here's a very simple question for you.
Okay.
Java or Bedrock?
Huh?
Java or Bedrock?
Java, like coffee? Coffee.
Oh, for the love of God, you have no idea what I'm talking about, do you?
Uh-uh.
Okay, just to put things in context, this is the email I woke up to this morning from one of the biggest, most powerful companies in the world. They sent me this email.
Okay.
Can you even guess what company it was?
The biggest, most powerful company
I said
in the
one
world.
of. I didn't say the biggest. I said
one of.
Yes.
Was it Meta?
No, they don't. Why would they send me email?
I don't know. Was it?
I hate them. I don't allow. I literally don't allow them to send me email.
Was it Tesla?
No.
Was it Twitter?
Twitter is almost completely irrelevant.
I don't know.
You're bad at this game.
Microsoft?
Yay, you got it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes, I got that email from Microsoft, and I was thinking, is Microsoft having a stroke? This seems like a really strange thing to be emailing me, but I actually understood it completely and immediately what they were referring to because I'm a kid at heart, and so they were talking about Minecraft.
Okay.
Do you know Minecraft?
It's a game, right?
It is a game, and Microsoft bought it several years ago for some ridiculous amount of money, like $5 billion or $1 billion, or sorry, $500 million or $1 billion, something like that. And I think it's important to put it in context.
Okay.
Minecraft was started by just one guy, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago.
Okay.
And all it was a really simple game where he turned the whole world, or he built a world out of like 1 meter by 1 meter blocks. Everything was just a block.
Was it pre-Roblox?
Yes. What do you think Roblox is based on?
I don't know. I just know this because I hear it.
If you want to go to the source, it's originally Minecraft. And so, but it's very simple. It's just a blocky world. And his very first game that he released was just using a pickaxe to break the blocks.
Oh.
I love the simplicity of that. This guy just woke up one morning and said, I want to make a video game. And I'm going to start off real simple. I'm just going to start by breaking blocks. And you could tunnel. And then like the upgrade to that was, well, you can break a block, and once you break it, you can put it in your inventory, and then you can use it. You can reuse it to build something. So if you break like 10 blocks, you can use those blocks. You can place them down in the world somewhere else and make a house or do whatever you want with it. Make a tree.
So it was a world building game?
It eventually became the world building game.
Oh, I didn't know.
You go from that to having different kind of blocks you can break, and then he added this other part where you can start crafting different things from different blocks. You could get materials from the blocks like iron ore or coal, and you can use coal to create a furnace to make smelt your iron ore to make swords.
Fascinating.
I thought it was fascinating.
Yeah, no, it's mildly fascinating. Yes, I can see it.
So anyways, fast forward several years, it becomes a huge phenomenon, and Microsoft buys it for a ridiculous sum of money. Just a stupid game that started as someone's mind dream.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Microsoft bought it, they've done pretty well with it, but they took the original, which was based on Java, which is a scripting language or a computing language that can be cross-platform, which was kind of sucked, but it worked because it was cross-platform.
Okay.
They created their own version called the Bedrock version, which ran natively on their own stuff, on the Xbox and on Windows. And so this question is, which version do you want to play? And there's like, oh, you can play both because you own both now. Yeah, I know I own both now already. Anyway, it's a silly thing. But it's just one of those things. You wake up and you see emails like that. And it's like, what am I supposed to do with this? It's just a weird way to start the morning.
That was a weird way to start the morning for me, too.
Was that too much for the podcast?
No, that was not too much. I think you brought a whole new perspective of the tech geek world. And I thought you were talking about coffee because it's morning and I needed some.
And Java generally refers to coffee.
Right. And I had no idea. I've never heard of the other one. What was it?
Bedrock.
Bedrock.
If you mine far enough down in the game, in Microsoft, you hit Bedrock, which is a block that you cannot break.
Oh, no.
The only unbreakable block in the game. So I'm sure you heard Java, which to you meant coffee. You heard bed, which means, I can go back to sleep. And you heard rock, and you said, that's what James's head is full of.
Well, I was actually thinking of Fred Flintstone.
You like to think about him, don't you?
I love Fred Flintstone, the whole thing.
That's crazy. Can you watch that anywhere?
I don't know, but he was kind of a block, wasn't he? He was like a little square block. But all the characters were like little boxes, weren't they? They looked like boxes with that.
The guys were all thick boxes, and the women all had the hourglass. They had no waist, and they had, they got bigger above and below, but no waist, so they were completely unrealistic. But still fell in love with Betty, so what are you going to do?
Betty.
Betty.
Such
Betty
a Betty.
Rubble. Betty Rubble.
Yeah, you said you were in love with Betty Rubble.
I am in love. Love doesn't die. It doesn't go away.
Oh, you am.
There's
love.
no expiration. Okay. I am. Yes, I am. I are in love with Betty Rubble.
Oh, we should teach English as a second language.
Would that be a good T-shirt? I are in love with Betty Rubble.
Probably not. No.
Thanks.
No. Oh! I got to do a quick shout out.
What's that?
I had some plumbing work done again by George Brazil Plumbing. They came in and they had to work here a couple days, and they did all kinds of cool stuff to my house. And, and there's more to come. I know, plumbing.
I'm sorry. Did they put an aqueduct in your front yard?
No, they just fixed like those things that turn off water if something happened, the shut-off valves, and they had to reconfigure my my brand new, I will say, water tank because evidently it wasn't installed correctly, much to my chagrin, and I was very grateful. Because, and one of the guys, Ernesto, thank you, Ernesto and Nicholas, for coming out and being so delightful. We had fun over like 2 days. It was like fun actually watching them plumb my house. Yeah, Ernesto said at one point, this could, there's no expansion tank or some shit, I don't know. Yeah, and I said, well, could it explode? And he said, well, maybe. And I instantly said, well, that would solve a lot of problems for this house. And I don't think he found it funny. He just kind of looked at me and, there started our relationship. Anyway, But no, they were absolutely wonderful. So thanks. But Nicholas started listening to our podcast as they were working. And that was kind of funny. And at one point he just blurts out, I'm a grocery store superstar too. Make a T-shirt.
Okay, that's a T-shirt. Yeah, okay. I think that's lining up to be a T-shirt. So
thank you, Nicholas. So anyway, thanks to George Brazil. Love doing business with you. Well, you'll definitely be back because I have plumbing galore here to deal with.
All right, that's all well and good. I appreciate you doing that, but you can't say it was cool because that's just regular. Cool? Your plumbing. That's just regular plumbing. And if you put a fountain or something in, then you can talk about it being cool and awesome. No. But if you're just putting expansion tanks so your house won't blow up, that's practical.
No, it was cool because at least I don't have a house blowing up anytime soon.
That would be exciting.
And it would solve problems, but I don't really want to go there. I mean, I just need to clean it, not blow it up.
Catherine, when you're solving problems, you generally want to avoid causing new problems.
Right, that would be horrible.
So there are there are better ways to solve problems and there are worse ways to solve problems. Mm-hmm. A better way to solve a problem is by not making more problems.
Okay, anyway, so that's my side thing.
I do feel really bad because we never did some follow-up that we are several episodes late on now. Do you remember we talked about fake birds? Birds are all fake.
Uh-huh.
Right, and we said, go look at that CIA video where they interview the CIA agent. And at the end of it, the interviewer asks, so you deleted all the videos? And the guy's like, yeah, it's all gone. It's all destroyed. And then he says, well, almost. And you didn't get the joke. And it's kind of the thing that I think probably breaks down along gender lines and the way he said it. And it was a beautifully acted piece.
Uh-huh.
The guys in the audience, we understood that he meant that, if you have aerial surveillance from fake birds, you're going to pick up probably some pictures of some naked people, and those are the ones that you saved. So not everything gets deleted. That was the joke? That was the joke. So it was maybe a male joke.
Okay, well, thanks for clarifying that.
Yeah, I thought it was worth, because I said, watch the video, and if you didn't understand the joke at the end, we'll come back and tell you. So I'm sorry that it took several episodes to remember to do that, but hey, better late than never.
Better late than never, and now it's so clear that I can't stop thinking about it.
Do you think any of the birds got you on tape?
I don't go out in my yard.
Au naturel?
No, I don't go out in my yard clothed.
Right, so you go out naked.
Or naked. No, I don't go out in my yard. That's why it looks like hell out there.
Well, that's just crazy.
Yeah, and if I do go out, not anymore, I wear a bucket hat and a mask. So I'm full K-pop, undercover.
I don't know what to do with that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to move on. Other follow-up, I think it's just important to remember that in the past, we had to remind people that we're not lawyers. Don't take any advice we give as law.
Uh-huh. Why did we have to do that?
Well, in the past, that was because we were talking about, is it legal to take pictures of art?
Oh, is it?
I don't want to litigate that.
Okay, don't rehash it. Yeah. Don't
'Cause
relitigate it.
The whole point is
non-lawyer.
we don't know.
We don't know.
I have my opinions, but I'm not a lawyer, so don't take what I say with any.
Right. Well, we'll see when I take pictures of art and publish it. Anyway.
See if you get arrested. That's good test.
Yeah, or kicked out of the museum.
But
Go ahead.
anyway, I wasn't even talking. I was just saying that in reference to also we're not scientists. So sometimes when we do scientific research or criticism, just be aware that we're also not scientists. If you want real scientific criticism, go to places like Cat Epidemiologist on TikTok. I know it's TikTok.
Right.
Or Very Bad Wizards, which is a podcast, which a psychiatrist and a philosopher, so they go through all kinds of nonsense on that podcast. Or Andy on Health, who's also on TikTok. She's a nutritionist, and she spends all of her day, God bless her. I don't know, I can't believe I just said it. I don't think I've ever said God bless her anyone before in my life, but she does a lot of thankless work to debunk all the nonsense people are saying on TikTok about nutrition. It is
What was
shocking.
her name?
Andy Does Healthy. That's pretty easy to
A-N-D-Y or Andy I?
Why? Andy Does Healthy.
Okay. Thank you.
She got banned because she was talking too much science.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Doesn't happen to any of the crazy people. It just happens to the normal people actually doing science on there.
Yeah, like let's just not inform people of something interesting and good. Let's just ban them.
A lot of it is based on feedback they get from users. And when she debunks all these really popular, quote, nutrition people on on TikTok, their fans get mad and report back.
I know.
on
Fans
people.
can be brutal.
They suck.
Our fans are cool.
Yeah, as long as they, buy our stickers. God, I feel like such a shill now. Saying, I'm just joking when I say you can buy the stickers, but I'm not trying to push anyone to.
I bought a bunch of stickers and I just give them away.
Just buy more.
Yeah, we'll have to support our own habit.
Well, no, you support me through your habit.
Anyway, what else are we following up on, James?
We talked about that fake Basquiat at the Orlando Museum of Art, and I complained bitterly about their website, and I thought it'd be worth following up with a really impressive museum website. Like their website is an example of how not to do a website for a museum. Well, I stumbled across one that was really good.
Oh, which museum?
The Metropolitan Museum of Art.
Oh, I follow them. I love them.
The Met.
I joined them. The Met.
New York City has an amazing website. They even will show you precisely, you can look up a work.
Yes.
And they will show you precisely on a 3D map, or I guess it's a 2D map. They will show you on a map precisely what gallery it's in. And just as one example, they also have fly-throughs, like fly-through videos, 360 videos. Like you can literally, on YouTube, pull up one of these videos and pan around as you're flying through the museum. It's not just a straight fly-through. It's a 3D fly-through.
Right. It's phenomenal.
It's freaking crazy. So I think they did a great job. Plus, it was a wonderful museum. I do kind of wish we had something like that here. If that was down the street, boy, that would be nice.
There is a museum down the street from you.
Yeah, but it's not like the Met.
Oh, it's nothing like the Met.
Yeah, the Met is a kind of a unique thing. Oh, and more follow-up on the OMA, the Orlando Museum of Art.
Uh-huh.
That DeGraft guy who's running it, I think one of the points I failed to really make and bring home was the reason I was so angry at him.
Right.
And why it's such a responsibility on curators and the people who run the museums to not allow fakes in their museum is because it gives credibility to the fake. If you put a fake in your museum, the person who owns that fake can point to that museum exhibit as being proof that it's a genuine article. Otherwise, why would it be shown in a museum? It gives it a platform that they can then use to sell, and then slowly but surely this thing becomes accepted as quote a real work from the artist, and that is very dangerous.
It is dangerous. I think it affects the entire art world and definitely affects the body of work, like in this case for Basquiat.
Right.
Because it kind of starts eroding away at that other.
Well, it confuses
the legacy.
it.
It's confusing, yes.
As we said in that episode, they didn't look like Basquiat's.
No.
So it
Not
could
to me.
confuse the whole body of work from the artist, especially when it's not that big. It recalls that episode we talked about where the people who were doing the authentication of the works would see the same fake work over and over again because it would still be sold on the black market or just by people who didn't know what they were buying. It's easy for a fraudulent work of art to get in the system. It's really hard to purge that artwork from the system.
Is it?
We saw, like I said, in that episode we discussed the authenticator seeing the same piece over and over again because people would just sell it again and to unknowing buyers. Important if you care about art.
It is important if you care about art. I care about art. Did you care that someone threw cake at the Mona Lisa?
I didn't. Because it hit the glass in front of the Mona Lisa, so who cares?
I know.
It seemed like they were trying to make that in such a story. I was like, I don't care. If you
I
want
know.
to throw cake at anything, throw cake at me. I'm hungry.
I know. Let them eat cake.
I mean, maybe this is a good reason to go to the Mona Lisa, is stand in front of the Mona Lisa for the next time someone tries to throw a cake at it and get some cake. Free cake.
Right. When I first saw the article, because it was like Mona Lisa attacked at Louvre by a vandal posing as an elderly woman. There you go, an elderly woman again.
More old women.
You know, yeah, rolled up in a wheelchair, threw cake at the painting. I was horrified. And then I'm like, well, isn't there bulletproof glass? And as I read through the article, they're like, yeah, it hit the bulletproof glass. There's like videos of the guy wiping off the glass. It was actually, I thought, kind of hysterical.
Yeah, and then they said they had video of it. And they didn't have
They
video
did.
of it. They had video of the guy wiping it down.
Yeah, they have video of the guy wiping it down and the cake thrower.
Yeah, but not throwing I want to see the moment.
I wanted
that
to
it's
see
thrown.
the throwing. I know.
Otherwise,
That would have
just-
been
Yeah,
that would
it's
have been
terrible.
priceless. That would have been a meme for like all memes to come. That would have been awesome, just hurling a big piece of cake. But no, he was standing there just yelling. You know.
Funniest thing is
so-
if Banksy could get in there and shred it, press a button and say, "Ha ha, I put a shredder in the frame."
of the Mona Lisa.
Yeah, the Mona Lisa. That
Oh,
would
that
be
would
now that would be a
suck.
prank.
That would be horrific.
I'm just thinking that I want free cake. That's all I take away from it. Why the hell are they wasting cake on the Mona Lisa? It's not
I
like
don't
she can
know.
enjoy it.
You wonder why are people acting out so crazily?
Well, it's not just this is normal. This happens every couple of years at the Mona Lisa. It's a big thing that people like to screw with. So it happens.
Why is that though? I mean, what about her? Why is it just
Catherine,
because
do you really want me to tell you why?
I do. I want you to explain it in great
Fine.
detail.
This is not going to make you happy, though.
Oh, why?
People
ahead.
suck.
Oh, well, that makes me happy. That's understandable. I know that.
That's all it is. People suck.
People do suck.
And sometimes they want to suck and let everyone else see their suckage, so they go to the biggest venue they can think of.
And just make it suck worse.
Yes.
Bunch of assholes.
So I think we should just outlaw people.
I think so.
Or better yet,
What?
what they say in disgust and futility, I say with reverence and awe. Soylent Green is people.
Damn it.
If we just started eating people, a lot of these problems would go away.
Oh, God. Oh, God. No.
It's a rallying cry for the future. No. Soylent people, or excuse me,
Soylent people are
Soylent-
green.
Soylent Green is people. It is. This is how you fix the world, Catherine. Step number one.
Well, make
start
that
eating,
our next merch.
eat your neighbor. That's the best thing you can do this week.
Oh, my God. Eat your neighbor. Speaking of eating, have you been to the grocery store lately?
Last week
Oh, my God.
they didn't have any goddamn soy milk.
There is so much they don't have.
The only problem I had was the soy milk. They had everything else.
Oh.
They even had the Tai Chi, the Tai Chi that my
Tai
wife. Tai Chi, tea chai. What is it?
Oh,
chai
chai
tea.
tea.
Chai tea. Sorry.
Oh, a
I don't-
Costco?
It's from my wife. No, it was at Target. That my wife needs to drink, so that was good. You don't have internet. You don't have groceries. Are they trying to starve you out there? What's going on?
I don't know. Well, the internet seems, I don't even want to say it seems fixed because I don't want to jinx anything.
I feel like they're trying to shut down West Phoenix.
Well, I'm okay if I could sell my house for what I just Googled it this morning and they said that like it's sort of around that price. I'd be so gone. I just don't know where to go.
Yeah, but what can you buy anything for that?
I don't know. Maybe could move back to Lyle and buy my uncle's old house.
Well, there's that. Yeah, at least you know what you're getting. Or you could buy an RV, as I mentioned before. Actually, I just saw an RV. I just dropped my son off up in Durango so he
Yeah.
could spend a month at camp. This is crazy.
Wait, you
We're
went to
actually-
Durango, Colorado?
Yeah, we're paying for him to go hike and backpack for a month. So he's going to be sleeping on the ground under a tarp for the next 4 weeks.
Uh-huh.
And I was thinking on the way back, it's like, we could have just sent him to San Francisco if he wanted that experience. Doesn't have to go all the way up to, out in the wilderness. He can just go to downtown San Francisco and sleep on the street.
That's hilarious. But it actually isn't.
Would have been cheaper. No, it's not. It's liberals have no
pathetic.
idea.
Yeah, the last time I was in San Francisco, I don't even think I want to go back.
Yeah, who would? It's ridiculous. They have no
It
idea what
is.
they're doing over there. No one really seems to care because they just turned a blind eye.
I swear people were sticking to the street like they were in Calcutta. It was horrible.
Well, that's a good correlation. my brother-in-law and sister-in-law live up there, and he bought an RV, I guess about 6 months ago, maybe a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of a special RV because it's on the back of a pickup truck, but most of those are kind of crummy because they fit in the bed. This one
Right.
actually is built on into the pickup. It's a pickup, not just like a cargo van, but it's an actual pickup. So it's not really a Class C, but it was pretty cool. I thought it was pretty cool. And it was kind of
Interesting.
old, but it was expensive. This is a rare thing. But RVs, if you could afford an RV,
Mm-hmm.
sell your house and maybe buy part of an RV, buy a timeshare RV.
Oh my God. No, no, that's just too close to camping.
Well, you get to an RV camp and plug it in, and it's just like a small house that leaks and stuff.
No, I need a better fix than that. I don't know what I need.
It's like a house, but worse.
Yeah, I have enough going on here, and this is a brick building.
The other interesting thing was,
Is
when I
there
was
any?
up there, I stayed at my
Mhm.
brother-in-law and sister-in-law's house, and she's a ceramicist, and I
Nice.
noticed that she had a new toy. It's this vinyl cutter, so it can cut. It's about the size of a small printer, and you can basically feed it a digital file, and it'll cut out little stencils for you.
Oh,
And not that she was doing, I thought she was doing a really interesting thing. She was cutting out these little stencils of whales and other
mm-hmm.
marine animals, and she was using it to glaze some handmade mugs that she was making.
Oh,
And what I found interesting about it, you could paint a whale or whatever you wanted on there, but because she had printed out and used it as a stencil, it had a very distinct look to it. It was more, the only way I can describe it is it was more graphical. And it made me start thinking again about how, little details are important and can really
Mhm.
affect how someone reads and sees a thing. I just thought that was so interesting. But it probably isn't.
that is
Okay.
interesting.
Maybe it is, but and she has this beautiful monoprint in her living room,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just really simple. It's probably about 20 by 20 inches or something
Mhm.
along those lines. So it's a medium-sized piece, and it looks like the artist would have started off with a copper plate, like you would for an etching,
Mm-hmm.
and she inks the whole thing. And then what I love about it is that she wipes off most of it, and that's how she's basically painting. She's painting by removing the ink. So
Oh, it's a
what's left is-
reduction technique, right?
yeah, and it's almost like scratchboard.
Mhm.
It's actually very similar to scratchboard because you can very readily see the marks that she's making as she's wiping off the with a
Was
rag.
it a
right?
print
So-
or was it printed?
yeah, it's a print. So it's a monoprint. So once she's finished wiping
Right,
it
okay.
off, she runs it
You
through the
said that.
press one time,
Right.
and so the marks were really nice. And she had a remarkably beautiful way of sculpting the space. It was non-objective. It wasn't a figure. It wasn't
Mhm,
figurative.
mhm.
It was basically just lines and some gradation. Beautifully balanced. And of course, the colorist in me is looking at that, and I just want to go in with a crayon and fill it in.
Right.
Which probably, I don't think anybody would appreciate that. But the other thing that really struck me is if you look closely at it, you can see that the plate has some scratches in it.
Okay.
From long-term use. So you have the marks from being wiped off, and then you have this other layer. Basically, it gives it a little more depth of these
Uh-huh.
little fine scratches that are just part of the plate now.
Oh, interesting.
And I got the same kind of sense there. It's like, wow, these little details. It's how you choose to do things
Mm-hmm.
can have such a profound effect on the final piece, because this printmaker's sense of negative space is fantastic, or being able to split up the space in just an artistic way is
Mhm.
very strong. But then having that layering in it adds so much depth to it. And
Oh, I wish I could see the piece now
well, I'm sorry.
because I love that.
Maybe I will have my sister-in-law take a picture, and I will share it with you. Or I probably at one point, it's probably my phone somewhere. I probably took a picture of it at one point.
Right. I didn't end up taking the printmaking class that I'd signed up for this summer for various and sundry reasons, but I did take a printmaking workshop. It was over several weekends. It was a workshop that was, and was a figure drawing / print thing. And we did stuff on exactly what you're saying. We did the reductive method with the inks and then ran it through I'm not pronouncing it correctly, the Intaglio press. It was like a
Oh,
one-shot
Intaglio?
deal. Intaglio press. And so I did the figure, and I still have the original drawing, like the original painting, but the print that came out, I did such a bad job differentiating that when they printed it, my female figure looked like she had a penis.
That's very progressive of you, Catherine.
And I ended up shredding that. I no longer have that piece. I'll send it to you.
I think you've just unwoke yourself.
Well, I woke myself years ago. But the only reason I shredded it immediately after I got it home, because they like posted it. You know, we had to go back, and then people would critique your work. And when I saw it, and people were just like laughing, and I was so embarrassed. You asked me why I have art anxiety in classes. That's probably one of the seminal incidents that, no pun intended, but yeah, I mean, it just really got to me to be openly mocked by my peers, who none of them were like fantastic artists. Like this wasn't some, you know, it was like a friggin' workshop, for God's sakes. And I had fun up until that point, and then I just wanted to bury myself deep into sand.
You're in a vulnerable spot. You're learning.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, screw art students. They can be cruel. I've been painting on those, on my garbage torsos.
Mm-hmm.
I need to learn how to paint leaves, or I'm just going with a naive look, because this is an epic fail. Like the problem I'm having, the canvas I created is made out of garbage, you know, it's paper. And it is not, there's no tooth to it per se. It's just rugged. And so it's very difficult to paint on. I mean, I guess if I was actually a good painter, it might not be such a challenge. But being that I'm not, it's been quite the horror show. I'm almost done with the piece, because at some point I'm just going to have to call it. And I'm going to keep going. I'm going to make more of these.
You should.
Because I have tons of packing material to work through. And I just got another box from HiveBrands.com yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So there's even more packing material. I'm thrilled. So I'm getting my clay all mushed up. I'm getting it all ready to go. Soaking paper.
Great. Good luck with it.
I know. Thank you. But I'll share that at some point. And you can, if you mock me, it's done.
Well,
Or you can mock me. I'm okay now. I've grown up a little bit emotionally. I'm tougher.
My theory in education is
Mm-hmm.
that you crack your students, you break them down to the fundaments, and then you rebuild them in your own image. I mean, isn't that what education's all about?
Maybe in this country, is it?
Well, I wish it was even about that.
I know.
God, that would be something,
It would be.
as opposed to nothing, which is both this podcast and our educational system.
Yes, it is. Should we call it a day?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. I mean, I guess this wasn't really about anything this particular episode. We were just doing follow-up and stuff.
Yeah, is there anything else you want to talk about?
Catherine, there's all kinds of things I want to talk about, but that no one wants to hear.
I see.
Betty Rubble.
Do you like Betty?
Who doesn't like Betty?
I think of the two female leads on the Flintstones, female leads, I would have chosen Betty as a role model. And maybe I did.
I just like brunettes,
She was just cuter.
even though I've married a blonde.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Anyway.
Okay, well, so much for this.
Yeah.
What are you doing today after this?
Editing this goddamn podcast.
Okay, great.
This train wreck of a podcast.
No, we're doing good. We're doing good. We have new listeners, plumbers. Everyone's into us.
Plumbers.
Okay, talk to you
All right,
later.
bye.
Bye.